Very sad update. Kelly Ripa breaks down on air as Mark Consuelos faces a difficult moment. The studio lights were bright, the audience was quiet, and everything seemed normal until it wasn't. Viewers tuning in that morning expected laughter, light banter, and the familiar warmth that Kelly Ripa brings to television every day. Instead, they witnessed something rare and deeply emotional, a moment so raw that it left the entire studio silent. Kelly Ripa, known for her energy and composure, struggled to hold herself together on air as she addressed a deeply personal situation involving her husband, Mark Consuelos. What followed was not just a television moment, it was a reminder that even the most polished public figures are still human behind the scenes. The show began as usual. Kelly smiled, greeted the audience, and joked lightly with her co-hosts, but longtime viewers sensed something was different. Her voice wavered slightly. Her smile didn't quite reach her eyes. Her usual quick humor came slower than normal. Then, as the conversation turned more personal, the atmosphere changed completely. Kelly paused. She took a breath, and suddenly the emotion she had been holding back all morning came rushing to the surface. With her eyes filling with tears, Kelly acknowledged that her family was going through a challenging time. She didn't go into specifics, she didn't share details, but her words were enough to understand the weight she was carrying. "This isn't easy to talk about," she said softly, her voice breaking, "but I wanted to be honest with all of you." The audience listened in complete silence. Kelly explained that Mark had been facing a difficult period, one that had forced their family to slow down, reflect, and lean on each other more than ever before. At that moment, the confident TV host disappeared, and a concerned wife stood in her place. For years, Mark Consuelos has been known for his strength, charm, and steady presence, both on screen and at home. To fans, he often appears unshakable, but Kelly reminded viewers that strength doesn't mean invincibility. She spoke about how Mark has always been the person who supports everyone else, often putting his own needs last, and now the family was returning that support to him. "He's always there for us," Kelly shared. "Now it's our turn to be there for him." Those words alone said everything. Kelly admitted that she debated whether or not to share anything at all. Privacy has always been important to their family, especially when it comes to personal struggles. But she ultimately decided to speak because she knew how many people watching might be facing their own silent battles. "So many of us are carrying things we don't talk about," she said softly, "and sometimes just knowing you're not alone can make a difference." Her honesty resonated deeply with viewers across the country. As Kelly spoke, her co-hosts stood beside her, not interrupting, not rushing her, simply offering quiet support. One reached out to hold her hand, another nodded, visibly emotional. The audience, usually quick to applaud or laugh, remained still, respecting the vulnerability unfolding in front of them. This wasn't a scripted moment. This wasn't television drama. This was real life. Kelly went on to speak about how this experience had reminded her of what truly matters. Busy schedules, career pressure, public expectations. All of it fades when someone you love is going through something difficult. Everything else becomes background noise, she said. You realize how precious time really is. She described quiet evenings at home, simple conversations, and the comfort of just being together, moments that now held deeper meaning. Within minutes of the episode airing, social media was flooded with messages of love and encouragement. Fans praised Kelly for her honesty. Others shared their own stories. Many simply sent messages of strength and support. "Watching her cry broke my heart. You can feel how real this is," sending love to their entire family. The response was overwhelming and deeply moving. Later that day, Mark Consuelos shared a brief but heartfelt message. He didn't address the situation directly. Instead, he thanked fans for their kindness and support, calling it a reminder of how powerful compassion can be. His words reflected the same quiet strength fans have always admired. This moment served as a powerful reminder that behind the fame, the cameras, and the headlines are real people facing real challenges. Kelly Ripa didn't break down because she wanted attention. She broke down because sometimes emotions can't be contained, no matter who you are. And in that vulnerability, she connected with millions. Kelly closed the segment by reassuring viewers that her family was taking things one step at a time. "There's no rush," she said. "We're just focusing on what matters." She thanked the audience for their understanding and compassion before taking a moment to compose herself and continue to show. The applause that followed wasn't loud, but it was heartfelt. Television history is filled with dramatic moments, but few feel as genuine as this one. No script, no performance, just truth. Kelly Ripa allowed viewers into a deeply personal moment, reminding everyone that vulnerability is not weakness, it's strength. And while the road ahead may not be easy, one thing is clear: they are facing it together. In a world that often demands perfection, Kelly Ripa showed something far more powerful: honesty. Her emotional moment on air wasn't just about sadness, it was about love, it was about family, it was about standing strong even when things feel uncertain. And for millions watching, it was a reminder that no matter how public your life may be, the most important moments are always the most human ones.
When the cameras finally cut to commercial, the emotion didn't disappear. Kelly remained seated for a moment, her hands folded tightly as she tried to steady her breathing. Crew members quietly moved around the studio, giving her space while staying close, ready to help if needed. One producer gently asked if she wanted to pause longer. Kelly shook her head. She wasn't ready to stop, not because she felt obligated to continue the show, but because being there, surrounded by support, gave her strength. That strength, she later admitted, had been tested more than ever in recent weeks. For a long time, Kelly had kept everything private. Like many people, she believed that staying strong meant staying silent. She showed up, smiled, worked, and kept life moving forward, while quietly carrying worry in her heart. But emotions don't disappear just because we ignore them. They wait, she once said in an older interview, and eventually they ask to be felt. That morning, they finally did. Kelly and Mark's relationship has always been admired, not because it's perfect, but because it's real. They've spoken openly over the years about disagreements, growth, and learning how to support each other through life's changes. This moment was another chapter in that journey. Kelly shared how they've learned to communicate differently now: slower conversations, deeper listening, and more patience. When something serious touches your life, she explained, you stop talking just to respond. You talk to understand. That shift, she said, brought them even closer. One of the most surprising things Kelly revealed was how ordinary moments had become anchors during this time. Morning coffee together, quiet walks, simple meals at home. These little routines, she said, they keep you grounded when everything else feels uncertain. Mark, she noted, found comfort in consistency, and so did she. It wasn't about big gestures, it was about presence. As the episode continued, viewers across the country felt seen. Parents, partners, caregivers, anyone who has ever loved someone through a difficult chapter. Messages poured in from people saying, "This feels like my life. I'm going through something similar. Thank you for saying what so many of us feel." Kelly's openness turned a personal moment into a shared experience. Later in the show, Kelly addressed something important, something she felt needed to be said. It's okay to not be okay, she told viewers, and it's okay to admit that you need support. For someone known for confidence and control, that statement carried enormous weight. She wasn't asking for sympathy, she was encouraging honesty. Though Mark wasn't on set that day, his presence was felt throughout the episode. Kelly mentioned how he had encouraged her to be herself, no matter what that looked like. "He told me, if you feel it, don't hide it," she shared. That trust, she said, made all the difference. In an age of curated images and carefully edited lives, moments like this stand out, not because they are dramatic, but because they're real. Kelly didn't offer details, she didn't seek attention, she simply allowed her truth to exist in real time, and that honesty created connection. As the show moved toward its end, Kelly reflected on how this experience had changed her outlook. She spoke about gratitude, not the forced kind, but the quiet kind that comes from recognizing what truly matters. You stop sweating the small stuff because suddenly you understand how small it really is. Her words lingered long after the episode ended. Even days later, the moment continued to circulate online. Clips were shared, comments kept coming, support continued to grow, not because people wanted updates, but because they wanted to show care. Kelly later thanked viewers for respecting boundaries while still offering love. That balance, she said, means more than you know. This chapter in Kelly and Mark's lives isn't defined by sadness. It's defined by resilience, by partnership, by choosing honesty over silence. And while the future may remain uncertain, one thing is clear: they are not facing it alone. Life doesn't always give us warning signs. Sometimes it simply asks us to pause. Kelly Ripa's emotional moment on air wasn't about weakness, it was about courage. The courage to feel, the courage to speak, and the courage to continue showing up even when your heart feels heavy. For viewers everywhere, it was more than a television moment. It was a reminder that love, when tested, often grows stronger.